you thought about the game world.
So we talked before about feeling in good hands, right? But they also have to kind of really be in good hands for this to work. Like if you make some puzzles and you say, haha, in order to see the clue that tells you the information you need to solve the puzzle, you need to go look behind this one bush that's on the other side of the island in a corner somewhere, and there's like no reason to look there, and it's not connected conceptually to this at all. That's a stupid puzzle, right? And not only will people feel like they're not in good hands, but they actually like will not be, and the game like won't really function, right? It won't be like a solvable puzzle game. So I knew that it had to be very clear about this. Like, you had to kind of know that you weren't really expected to go like really far in space away from where you were to try to find what's relevant, right? That's why each individual area has a strong identity, and architecture is part of how you establish a strong identity for an area, both interior and exterior architecture. So we actually, we had landscape architects who like helped us figure out what plants were where and stuff, right? And then the second thing was, okay, people are going to be looking around because some of these puzzles do involve the world that you're in. People are going to be looking really closely at that world. So it has to not fall apart under that scrutiny, right? So what a lot of games do, like 3D games, is it's hard to make all these 3D meshes and put them together. And so there's places where you're intended to pay attention to. And then if you go down the back alley and look behind some stuff, you'll see some things that are really sloppy, like geometry that intersects where it shouldn't, and low detail textures and all this stuff. And like I knew that for this game, if we were asking people to pay careful attention to the world, and then the world had to meet that expectation. It had to not fall apart under that level of inspection, right? And so part of what that means is everything had to be well built. There couldn't be any back alleys where like there's weird stuff. But it also just means if a building like makes sense at a scale where like I'm 50 meters away and looking at it, right? Then if I'm asking you to look carefully at the environment, that building kind of has to make sense if you're like looking under the porch, right? Putting those details in there, that's actually a significant amount of what the architects advised on, is like, what are the details of this construction, right? If you use this material with this material, how do they join? And that just gives it that level of detail where you don't feel like we as the designers did not bother thinking about this thing that you're doing right now. And again, I think most players don't consciously realize that, but it sort of pervades the experience and helps them feel like it's a high quality thing.